let's talk about birds before land. Now, this is a term that I don't use, mostly because I don't pay attention to these birds before lands anymore. More on that later. But I was asked about this a few videos back, and I know that this might interest some of you. So if I can contribute to clarifying things for you, I will do that. Therefore, I decided to make this video on this topic. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what these are, these birds before land, why they happen, so what does it mean when you see birds before land, and something that I would want you to pay attention to. And I am going to explain this through my own experience, which I also know that you like to hear. So I'm going to share something from my own to explain to you why not pay attention to these, what's the importance, what's not, etc. So more on that in a moment. Welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and I'm a manifestation coach. On this channel I teach the law of assumption as taught by Neville Goddard. So we are staying true to the law, we're sticking to the basics and keeping things simple and practical so that you can apply them to your own manifestations right away. So if that was what you were looking for, you are in the right place. Definitely subscribe and stay for more. And let's talk about birds before land. Now, I know that this term is used a lot, but I think it's a newer term, probably from YouTube times. These are the signs and synchronicities that happen in the 3D that sort of remind you of your manifestation. Some very typical ones that happen a lot are, for example, when someone is manifesting a specific car, all of a sudden they start noticing that car everywhere, which they didn't before. Or someone is manifesting an SP, they start seeing their name everywhere, their car everywhere. Or if you're manifesting a specific behavior, for example, from your SP, the way you want them to treat you, all of a sudden you get contacted by random people, sometimes exes, sometimes other people that start reflecting that back to you, so they start behaving that way. These are usually the types of things that are referred to as birds before land, simply signs and synchronicities that remind you of your manifestation. The reason that happens is because what you are currently manifesting consciously or unconsciously, it works the same way, but we're talking about conscious manifestations here. It starts getting into your awareness. So you start becoming really aware of your new story. And it starts reflecting back to you from places where you have no resistance. Like, for example, you are manifesting something specific with your specific person and someone else comes in and starts behaving that way. It's just that story is starting to sort of sink in, but coming in first from someone you have no resistance to. This means that you need to keep going with your manifestation. But also, don't label this as a failed manifestation, because I have had people do that. I had one client who was manifesting an SP, and she was constantly getting these things from other people, whatever she was manifesting, and she would come to me stressed and, Anna, my manifestation failed. It happened with another person. This wasn't what I wanted. I don't want this with this person. I wanted it with my SP. So she continued literally labeling her manifestation as failed. It wasn't failed. Your manifestation didn't fail. This is just those birds before land that happen. It's just that it first manifests. It starts coming in where there's no resistance, the path of least resistance. What it means is that you're doing something right. Continue doing what you're doing. So don't get stressed if you're getting your manifestation with someone else or whatever else. I don't know. it's not because your manifestation failed. It's because you're doing something right. Also, whatever you're labeling things as, that's what you will end up manifesting. So don't give meaning to things that you actually don't want to experience. First of all, you don't know. Like, for example, side note, when your SP is doing something you're not really liking, so you start going crazy with these negative stories that either they don't like you or there's someone else, etc. Especially when you don't know, don't label things as stuff you don't want to experience. So because everything is a manifestation of your assumptions, so pay attention to what you're assuming. Going deeper, and this is a topic for a different video, your current assumptions, like these conclusions you're jumping to, come from your current self-concept. I have several videos on self-concept. I will link the playlist down below, so check them out if you're interested. So that is basically why you see these signs and synchronicities and birds before land. What I meant when I said that I want you to pay attention to something regarding these in the beginning of the video is this. Don't get too fixated on these birds before land. Even if they are positive, you get really excited and they're fun, and they are fun. It is fun to see stuff related to your manifestations in the 3D. But what happens sometimes is that you get so caught up in these signs that I don't want to say you forget your manifestation, but sort of. When people get so fixated on these signs, they start manifesting signs. That's what happens when all your attention is on the signs, the birds before land, the synchronicities, whatever you call them. You start manifesting more of these, and they are not your manifestation. When they appear as a result of you staying in your wish fulfilled, that's different. But again, still don't fixate on them, because yeah, it's fun, it's sort of reassuring, but they're not your manifestation. So unless you get your full manifestation, you're not done, basically. So that is what I wanted you to pay attention to. And here's my own experience that sort of taught me a little bit about these birds before land and signs in the 3D, which are different from movement, by the way. These birds before land are not exactly, like, yes, you can, I guess you can take them as movement, because since everything is an assumption, if you assume that this is movement in your manifestation, it's going to be movement in your manifestation. But when I say movement in your manifestation, I mean, for example, you are manifesting a different type of relationship with your SP, and they start to conform. So that is exactly your manifestation, not their name that you see somewhere else, or their car you see somewhere else. Or if you're manifesting money actually starts to come in. So you start experiencing, like, the beginnings of experiencing the manifestation itself. So I had one experience a few years ago. I was manifesting something quite big for me at the time. And I was really doing my work. I knew what I was doing, and I knew what to do to get results. So I was really just doing my thing. And for months, several months, I was not seeing anything at all related to my manifestation, good, bad, or whatever. Nothing was moving at all. And mind you, I have had both big, small manifestations where I have seen these signs and synchronicities. I have had a period where I was, like I said, really paying attention to them. It was so fun and so reassuring. Then I had this manifestation which was driving me crazy, by not moving at all in any way in the 3D or in the 3D or elsewhere not. But to the point where I was wishing that something negative would happen so that I could see that something at least was moving, even in the negative, so that I knew what to do. But nothing at all. No movement, no signs, no synchronicities whatsoever. But of course, I knew that if I wanted my goal, my wish fulfilled, it could only come through manifestation, through my own consciousness. I just kept living in the wish fulfilled. I think I was probably affirming at that time. So I thought, yes, I have nothing else to do. I have no other choice than staying in the end. So I kept doing that. What happened was that from absolutely no movement and no sign at all to my whole manifestation coming in all at once. Like from nothing to everything. And it was amazing, it was huge, and of course, when manifestation comes in, whether or not it's big or small, it doesn't matter. You always enjoy it, it's wonderful. And so later, when I was not done enjoying it, but the first period had passed, and I sort of went back to my mental work, I always think of how it all happened, what I did that worked, what I did that was waste of time, etc. With time, you gain a lot of experience, and with experience, you get a lot of experience too. And so I realized that these birds before land are not nearly as important for your manifestation as people think. It doesn't matter. And that was when I just stopped looking for them, stopped caring. And it's the same with these numbers that people see. They call them angel numbers or whatever else they are calling. I don't believe they mean anything. I have for years seen these numbers. Back when I started manifesting a few years in, I didn't know much. I was still learning. I remember I was seeing 2222 for years, like all the time, to the point that it was driving me crazy. And did anything major happen because of that? No, absolutely not. And that has repeated with other numbers also. And with these numbers too, when you get fixated on them, you start manifesting the number. And of course you can give it the meaning that it's because your manifestation is coming, but for me, like, this is my personal experience and my personal opinion about these birds before land and the signs and stuff you see around. It doesn't mean anything. Even when it's positive, it's still not your manifestation. Keep your focus on your end goal. The only sign, the only real true sign that you need is if your story is changing. I have a video about that. I'm going to link it by the end of this video. But that is the only really true sign that you can look after to understand if you're getting close, if you're there. Because things happen on the outside when they have happened on the inside. So when you are looking in the 3D, that's the wrong place to look. Go back inside. Like, for example, especially when you're manifesting with people and the attention is on them not changing, my question is, have you changed? Or you're manifesting a different financial situation. Have you yourself, in your mind, changed that story? If yes, then you're doing great. Keep doing it. If no, then your work is from the inside. The more you pay attention to the 3D while manifesting, the more you give your power away, the less powerful you feel, and it can get you frustrated. The more you do the opposite, so you get your attention off of the 3D, get it in your mind, start understanding what stories you are telling yourself, especially those on autopilot when you're not paying attention really, or not really not doing the work on purpose. What comes up? That's the current story. That's where you need to work. And when the things actually start to sink in, this self-talk or chatter or whatever story comes up, it changes according to your new story. And when you notice that, that's the first sign that you're doing it correctly. It's coming. It's all you need. You are all you need in order to manifest your desire. And your work is with you. Your work is in you. Manifestation is an inside job. Yes, we experience things in the 3D and we do manifest these things. We manifest on purpose to experience them in the 3D. So yes, that is important. But unless your manifestation has come to pass in your physical reality, you're not done doing, experiencing it in your mind. Let's put it this way. So if you need any additional help with your manifestations, I do offer one-on-one coaching. The link is in the description box below, and right here is the video with the true signs that your manifestation is coming. See you in the next video.